Hi guys, welcome back for another one. It's another poll video. We're back to you a little bit earlier than a week just because I have a full schedule of videos to do after today. So I wanted to squeeze this one a little early. So we only have 3 polls to review today. And I am here with Nico, man. Nico, how's it going?
It's great, man. Thanks for having me.
So today's topics are, did Scopely live up to its promise on Orange Gear? Will the length of the patch be extended, which we'll get into more detail here once we get into the poll question, and a Ravager rework. So guys, if you're ready for these topics and more, you know what to do. Sit back, relax, and let's get into it. Alright, so our first poll of the week is, do you feel Scopely Boundless lived up to its promise to make Orange Gear more accessible with the launch of Teal Gear, which is something they said is the reason why they were starting over with a brand new gear tier, was so they could, hit the reset button and make Orange Gear more accessible. 7% of 522 votes say yes, they lived up to that promise. 32% said kind of, and the overall majority say not at all. Before I get into some things, what are your thoughts here?
I put kind of. I think that they helped out when they increased the amounts of some of these things, but I think that the player base were expecting more, and so they were disappointed when they didn't get everything for free.
Yeah. So I said this back when they first put out this post that they were going to make things more accessible. I was like, if it doesn't give us more accessibility G13, then I think they're going to fail on the promise, because at this point, like, if they're starting over, like, G13 is the biggest bottleneck, like, somewhere it's got to give. And they've only really increased Orange Gear when it does show up in the supply store, from showing as like 1 or 2 to anywhere from 2 to 4. Now, there was some bugs where people were seeing 6 and 9. Apparently that wasn't intended. That was a bug. And then the other thing, when we look at the raid rewards, right? Jump into Doom 2. In Doom 1.1, you're getting Armory 15 orbs. Well, in Doom 2, you don't get those Armory 15 orbs. You only get Orange Elite orbs, which, once again, no 14s, no 15s, but does have the slow percentage drop that you can get uniques. But once again, it's all RNG. And I just feel like there's still a lack of control overall. And I'm more on the side of not at all, because what they did do, yeah, you could say kind of, but it's very minimal impact. It doesn't really make the progress to go into 13, 14, and 15 any better than what it was previously, my opinion. But yeah, I mean, any last thoughts you might have on this one before we move on?
Well, now upon deliberation from what you said, I feel I'm kind of.
Yeah. I just feel like they didn't do enough, and what they did do was not good enough. I don't know. I just feel like we're struggling more. We're going to be struggling more in the future if this is the method, if they don't change something in the near future. But with that said, let's move into our next poll, and that is, it's been 1 week with no new characters since the patch went live. As of recording this, we are expecting Silver Samurai the night of us recording this. Typical patch is 3 characters in 5 weeks. With 1 week delay, and actually it's greater than 1 week at this point. It was 1 week when I wrote this poll. Do you think the patch will come and go in 5 weeks or last longer due to the supposedly Silver Samurai delay? 58%, the majority say it's going to be rush with these new characters. It's still going to be a 5-week patch. Some people think they might extend it an extra week because of the delay, 25%. And 17% are very optimistic that Scopely will give us longer than 6 weeks in this patch. I think that's very generous, but what are your thoughts?
I was like when I was in the army, they wake us up at 5:30, and this one morning I was really tired, and I'm like, maybe they'll let us sleep in. They did not let us sleep in. That's what this feels.
Yeah.
I was like, I feel like they should give us that extra week, but that might cut into their sales.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking it's going to be rush 5 weeks.
Yeah.
I hope not, though.
I initially leaned towards 6 weeks, that they'll just give us the extra week, because so they could play catch up and stuff like that. But it's still a very possibility. They still have room to rush these characters out, right? A character only lasts in the Red Star Orb for 7 days. After 7 days, it's either replaced with just a generic Red Star opening, or it's the next character. And I think they still have room to make that happen, into the 5 weeks. And I put out during the beginning of the patch that Silver Samurai was going, Omega Red was going to be November 1st, was going to be legendary date. Data mines just recently have confirmed what I said from the start. So it doesn't seem like the timeline is being changed at all. So it's very possible it will be a rush 5 weeks. Unfortunately, it's not going to give us a whole lot of time to build these new characters before the next set of new characters come out. Are you planning on building these brand new characters right away, or what's your plan with these brand new characters?
I don't like how they threw us another mutant. They did that on purpose. I'm planning on topping up my Axemen to make sure I could do the alliance requirements for raids, and then I'll be focusing on work.
Okay. Fair enough. All right. And with that said, it's time to get into Nico's War Win of the Week. He didn't give me a fail this week, so we're going to talk about the positive. So you want to talk about this attack right here, where a nice punch up on Doom Marauders.
So the way that the game has been going, because before Heroes for Hire, we were mostly just getting 4 offense teams.
Yeah.
You're seeing a lot of is with stacked attacks, and they're punching down basically. So I used to do legendary punch ups, but it's been such a long time. So the Rom Z, he likes to call himself, he's a mutual fan for you and me, and a good friend of mine. He submitted this attack, so you can see it's almost a 400k punch up.
Yeah.
Using meta here, Fury he got a good use out of too, because he's going to need him for the upcoming legendary.
Yeah.
And so even though the MM Marauders is a bit of a dated team, Doom makes it more complicated. And I mean, come on, 400k punch up.
Yeah, that's
pretty sweet.
That is impressive. Yeah, that's a pretty good win there, Ramsey, man. Congrats on making that counter. That is still very impressive, because Doom, especially with the increase the blue ISO and level 85, Dooms have become a little bit more of a pain, at least in my experience, than what he used to be when he was capped at level 80. So there's that one. Let's move into our last poll question of the week. And this is the most current one, so this one I had to cut a little short. It's not even a full day of data returned, but with Ravager rework rumored and teased by Scopely Boundless, is it needed? Like, do we really want or need the Ravagers to be reworked? They're not the same origin trait, so they're not going to be a raid team. So here was the poll. Yes, make my Ravagers useful, 29%. Yes, if we get Nova on the team, 17%. No, I don't need another war team, 11%. And no, so many other popular tunes needed at 43. And no one got the majority, but definitely 43% is the highest percentage we have here. What are your thoughts on these current rumors, and also teased by Scopely themselves?
Okay, well, my first thought is Nova's a Ravager.
No, I don't know if he's a Ravager, but you know how they usually give people. They've given characters tags that they don't necessarily represent in the Marvel universe, like Strife being a Marauder. He was never a Marauder. So it's very possible that to make a reworked team, they have to introduce somebody new. So I threw out the word Nova, because I think that's also been echoed in some of the community, that people are like, yeah, if they gives us Nova. So I don't know if he's a Ravager in the comic universe, because I'm not a huge comic fan, so I don't know a whole lot about the what's in the comics, but yeah.
All right. Well, this is the thing that normally with I think that they initially came out with these minions because they didn't have enough heroes at launch, and then they realized nobody spends money on minions, so they kind of cut this, but they haven't put any new ones in, right? And so majority of minions end up being on like war defense teams, right? That way you don't really have to use them; they just kind of exist. Like I'm looking at you, mercenaries, right? So to me, it would feel like this would probably be some kind of a war defense team, which the base would be really upset after getting Heroes for Hire. Imagine having like OP Ravager on defense. Like, I think there'd be riots. So I think it would be nice, because there's probably players that pulled 6R 7R Yondus and Ravager Bruisers and such, and they'd like to get some value out of it. What other popular tunes that need it? Who was praying before they go to bed, saying, "Oh, I wish they put Omega Red in the game." Like, oh, remember that villain in the Captain Marvel that I don't even remember her name, and she unceremoniously died, like crashing into a mountain. I wish I could play her and use her in the raids. It's like they don't really care about popular tunes; they just throw whoever at us. So I'd rather Gambit and Rogue and Pietro in the game, but I wouldn't be upset if they did a Ravager thing. I think it'd be nice to update the worst team in the game.
Yeah, I mean, I'm always on the side of like trying to make characters relevant. I just don't see where they can put this together. I just don't see how they can put this together, at least on pace of what they've have done up to date with, like, 3 new characters, 2 old. Like, it doesn't make any sense to me. But I mean, we'll have to wait and see. I definitely agree that more popular tunes needed. I'd much rather see characters like Iron Man and Star Lord and I'd even see Nick Fury actually get an increase in stats. Some of the other popular characters, Spider-Man's a huge one that I'd much rather see them get the reworks over a team I could really care less about. I mean, if they wanted to rework Yondu, that's nice, but the minions are about pointless in the game at this point. That I do agree with. But any last points here before we end this one?
Well, yeah, if you look at the minions kits, like the Bruce, he puts like a taunt on himself or defense up on himself. They would need a complete new rewrite, as you said earlier on stream, that a brand new novel in their description to make them relevant to this game.
Yeah,
at least it's like a blank slate, right?
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah. I just feel like they could put their resources to so much better use than that. All right, and before we head out here, Nico has a special announcement for our alliance. So Nico, take it away.
Hey, so we are currently recruiting. We are looking for at least 2 spots to fill. We have a certain content creator who is retiring the game because X-Men aren't the elite team that he thought they were and doesn't want to play. No, I'm kidding. He's saying. So yeah, we do need 2 spots. We're currently doing Doom 2. We're hoping to do 100% push in the near future. The Greek raids are as usual. War, we're Platinum 2. It's not our main focus in our alliance, but we still do 2 on wars, 1 off war. And we hang out together. You get to hang out with me and Mr. Free to Play. Right? You get to laugh and share our memes and such, right? So if you're interested, please let us know. My link will be in the description. You can message me and we can see if you'd be a good fit for us.
All right, sounds great. Guys, that is it. That's this week's poll questions. We will be back hopefully next week. There'll be more polls out on YouTube. So yeah, check out the community tab either on my page or just when you're in Facebook. When you're on YouTube, check out the community page. I'll try to post the poll at least every other day, if not every day. Once again, I thank Nico. You guys can go check him out. He does War Review on his YouTube channel. He's available. He's also on Twitch. The links to follow him on any of his channels will be down below in the description. So Nico, that's going to do it for us this week. If you guys want to do me a huge favor, hit that thumbs up button. If you're new here and haven't done so already, hit that subscribe. And we'll catch you guys on the next one. Bye.